Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Ruben. You know what it is? New week, new video. I can't even say new week, new video, to be honest with you. I just said it to be facetious. And that's because this is the first video of the season, guys. I've been away for quite some time. If you've been following and you're sticking with your boy, I greatly appreciate. But I'm back on my bag when it comes to this sports stuff. So we're starting. Jacksonville Jaguars finally get their first win to currently be 1-4, and it's a huge win in more ways than one. Not just because it is a win, but also because of the way the season is slated at the moment, right? When we got the schedule, I looked at, man, like the first 4 games, that's a gauntlet of teams. Dolphins, Browns, Bills, Texans. I'm not sure the Browns made the playoffs last year, but we all know that's a talented team, one of the best defenses in the league. But Dolphins, Bills, Texans, all playoff teams, all present some kind of danger, right? You got the Dolphins offense, then you follow that up with the Browns spectacular defense, and then you end up playing Josh Allen and the Bills, and we got romped, and we saw how that went. And then you got the Texans. It's always going to be a tough divisional matchup. They're a very talented team. They just won the division last year. Unfortunately, we let that slip. So here's why the Colts game was so unique outside, or win was so unique outside of the obvious. We needed the win, right? Well, I want to remind you guys, we went 9-8 2 years ago. But when we went 9-8, what some of us might not remember is we were 3-6. We were not starting the season well. It didn't look good, and we got hot and got rolling, right? The offense was starting to, pick up steam. The defense wasn't quite where we wanted it to be, but, they were opportunistic. Same thing happened the next year, except in reverse, right? We started off hot, 8-3, and then injuries happened. Trevor went down, most importantly. Kirk went down. And just a variety of, just little ticky-tack injuries that kind of really affected the team. Started off 8-3, finished, 1-6 the rest of the way. And unfortunately for Trevor, that one win he was not a part of. And it was against the Carolina Panthers, I believe. So, you take that for what it's worth. Now, we finished 9-8, but as you can see, we tanked the season. But I say that to say, season 1, we went on a run to make the playoffs. Season 2, we continued that run until the injuries happened. So now we're into this season. And we can kind of get into some of the negatives later, but I'm going to touch on it right here. Going 0-4, I really feel like there's this very petty power struggle, and you don't have to take my word for it. You can research it. Take a look at what happened with Doug Peterson at the end of his tenure with the Philadelphia Eagles, and take a look at Trent Baalke and what happened at the end of his tenure with the San Francisco 49ers. And I think it's very telling when you bring those two together what exactly might be going on. And that pettiness, I think, is spilling out onto the field. And look none other than, tell me the last time you saw a second-round pick not be active for a game. And that's what happened to Mason Smith week 2. Give you guys a clue. Mason Smith was a Trent Baalke draft pick. Like, if you guys don't know, Doug Peterson's offensive-minded person. He's kind of made it evident that he wants to, have an explosive offense, and it kind of starts up front. Whereas Trent Baalke is very defensive-oriented, is really big in the traits. Mason Smith was a little overdrafted, but he had all the traits you're looking for. The guy's built like Chris Jones. And word in the building is Dougie P wasn't happy with those draft picks, right? Look at Trayvon Walker, traits guy. Did not deserve to be the number 1 overall pick, but I don't want to, shit on Trayvon's day because he finally showed at least a glimpse of being worthy of that pick by having 3 sacks yesterday. And I can make the case that he won the game for us. So, without further ado, why else was yesterday a big win? The other reason it was a big win is because, again, the first 4 games, death knell. But the next 4 games are very winnable games. At least, after the first 4. Okay, so we won game 1. Because the next 4 games were Colts, Bears, Patriots, Packers. The worst team to match up with is, of course, the Packers. But, because they're the best overall team that we're going to match up with in that 4-game stretch. But they're not unbeatable, right? And hopefully we're rolling by that time and getting healthy by that time. And you never know. Momentum's a big deal. And I believe it's here. I believe it's here because the next 2 games are in London, Bears, Patriots. Yeah, so it's home, right? Coming home from London. You got to wonder about that trip to London. But last year we went to London, did our thing, came back, and went ahead and won a big-time game in prime time against the Saints, if you guys recall. So the Packers game's kind of right on time where we could very well be 4-4 going into that game. They beat the Packers and go 5-4. They're officially rolling and in the mix for the primetime showdown for the Eagles. If they're rolling at that time, I believe it's a Sunday night game. Hopefully we don't get flexed out of it because that's how bad we've looked. Now, I say all of that to say the season's not over, guys. If we can get to 4-4, anything can happen on that 5th game. Right? Because then the rest of the season, you're looking at, all right, so let's say we go 4-4. It is a tall task to go 4-4, but I mean, these guys, like I said, these guys are beatable. Bears, Patriots. We already won against the Colts. And then you got the Packers, right? After the Packers game, it's a tough game against the Eagles, but the Eagles don't look unbeatable. Here's where it gets tough. Vikings, Lions, and then we're back for the Texans. I don't fear the Texans, and I think that's the game that we get back. That's at home. But let's say I'd hate to see a 3-game skid. Let's just say that you can't pencil those as wins. Eagles, Vikings, Lions. I'm gonna go ahead and say that we beat the Eagles, right? But let's say we lose 2 more, right? Let's say the Lions and Vikings would lose those games. Then we got Texans. We can beat the Texans. We definitely can beat the Titans. And then the Jets, all of a sudden, don't look unbeatable, but that defense is real, and you got to wonder where they're going to be at mentally at that time because the Jets are not looking good. Are people going to get fired by that time? And then we close the season out, Raiders, Titans, Colts. 3 winnable games. The season's not over, guys. Just keep going with it, okay? The offense is going to figure itself out, in my opinion. I think that we're too good. I tried to explain this to people. We're too good to look as bad as we look. The Dolphins, we very well should be 4-1, right? So we won yesterday. The Dolphins game, we're en route to blowing them out before Travis Etienne fumbles into the end zone. Then you saw what happened next. Tyreek Hill, 80 yards. And then next thing you know, it just snowballed and became the Dolphins game. Etienne punches that in, that game's over. The Browns, we lost 18-13, and we had an opportunity to win that game. We did a few stupid things where we beat ourselves. The Bills game, no excuse. I think we were just all out of sorts that game, not prepared. That's one of those games you just kind of burn the tape on, right? Then the Texans game, this was the most frustrating Trevor game I've ever watched, okay? And every fear I've ever had of Trevor, and I hope I don't lose some of y'all, but I've never said Trevor's a bad quarterback, but I am one of those guys that wondered if Trevor was that guy. You could see this coming if you really paid attention and understood what you were watching when he was playing in college. Watch the LSU game. He sailed pass after pass after pass in that game. And you're seeing a lot of those mechanical issues coming to a head, especially when you're losing and he's pressing. He left at least 3 touchdowns on the board in the Texans game, right? And I haven't been as down on the coaching and play calling as some of us have been. I do think we missed Doug Peterson. Let me say this. I think Press Taylor is calling plays. This is very much Dougie P's offense. What we're missing from Doug Peterson is his feel for the game, right? The plays look the same. It's not. I'm not seeing anything Doug Peterson didn't call before. What I am seeing is just a natural, good feel for when this play is going to work at a particular time. Situational offense, right? Um, that's what I think we're missing. Plus execution, because the Houston Texans game, people want to talk about the play calling. We missed 2 bombs for a touchdown. Are we talking about play calling if those hit? Look what just happened. We finally hit Brian Thomas on one. Brian Thomas should be running away. Well, I don't know about running away with offensive rookie of the year, because Jaden Daniels is going crazy right now. 81%, I think it was 80 something, but over 80% completion percentage is absurd. I think it's a record. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, but put it in perspective, 70% amazing. To be at 80% is like impossible. But he's doing it. So I can't really give it to Brian Thomas Jr., but Brian Thomas Jr. should very well be second. If Trevor just hits him on a few of these throws. If Trevor hits him on a few of these throws earlier in the season, and the Jalen Ramsey doesn't pass interfere, those are multiple touchdowns he should have. He's already, I believe, top 7. He's definitely top 10 in yardage, right? Where would he be when he catches some of these bombs? Those are just my thoughts. Whatever. I think we got a good thing happening here. Now, the offensive line, I think, is getting better against the pass, but it's still a problem. It's still something that needs to be rectified going forward. And the offensive line is the hardest thing to fix when the season's going, because teams are not going to let good old linemen go. Now, I think we're in a good spot. Let me know what you guys think. Definitely below in the comments. I'm going to check it out. And let me know what else you guys want to talk about. I'm all ears for any ideas, debates, and things like that, because we're talking. Because I got a few ideas. Because let me tell you, number one, a lot of you guys got on my case because I told you Buster Brown's not exactly who you think he is. One of you guys actually said Buster Brown was better than Tyson Campbell. Right? I want to know who that guy was and what he's got to say right now. Because let me tell you, I know we get emotional as a fan base, but Tyson Campbell, hands down, best corner on this team. It's not even a question. Buster Brown, I like him as a guy that, you know what, we've been working on. He's a grinder. He's a gritty guy. He makes tackles. I like him. But guys, I don't want to see him higher than our 4th corner. I'm sorry. I don't. I like him on that 4th corner and maybe occasionally in the slot taking care of a 3rd receiver. He can't keep Alec Pierce. Let me tell y'all, some of y'all might not know. Alec Pierce is a 4-3 guy. Okay, I liked him a lot. 6'3", 4'3", coming from Cincinnati, right? So don't think that he just got smoked by a no-name. But that goes to show you that he can't keep up with those kinds of guys. He needs to be in the box, kind of like a safety, and keep things in front of him. He can tackle well. If he's your 4th corner, I like where we're at in the defensive secondary. But I don't like him starting at all, and it's a problem. When Tyson Campbell comes back, I don't think you guys understand how good Tyson Campbell is. He's a fringe top 10 corner. And it moves Ronald Darby to the other side. Ronald Darby's not the greatest corner, but he's a decent number 2. So when you have a shutdown number 1 and a decent number 2, I think it makes Cisco's job a lot easier. And Darnell Savage is going to start getting into the swing of things. And Tayshaun Gibson's supposed to be coming back too, guys. So keep that in mind as well. I think you're going to see how much that Tyson Campbell by himself makes things so much different from the defense. Because you guys got to remember that our defensive coordinator, he wants to play press man. The reason we're playing zone, and so much zone, and you guys are like, why don't we come out of that zone? It's because these guys can't cover man to man. Buster Brown got smoked twice by Alec Pierce. Now, I don't know if that was man to man, but he was at the very minimum in his zone, and he couldn't stay with them. It looked like they were in some kind of cover 3, could not keep up with them. You can't put these corners man to man. Tyson Campbell's going to fix that. And when he fixes that, you're going to see Josh Allen eat a lot more. Trayvon Walker's going to eat even more. And then hopefully we get a damn appearance from Eric Armstead, who looks like a waste of a signing right now. I'm just going to say it, guys. I'd rather Mason Smith get those minutes if Eric Armstead's not going to play more defensive tackle and make a difference. All right, because I'm just not seeing it. But that's all I got for you guys. Check me out next time. All right, peace.